Hey, have you ever wanted to get into death metal for some reason, but don't know how? Or do you have a friend maybe that you want to introduce to this wonderful subgenre, but don't know where to get them started? Well, you came to the right place. Why go and listen to some peer-reviewed source or some recognized melonhead critic, or you can come listen to me, a 20-something-year-old, 17-year-old looking guy on the internet. I know best. I'm a connoisseur. Hey gang, I'm Jojo Prime, as far as you're concerned, and this is how to get into death metal, a beginner's guide. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Full of Merch. Full of Merch is a web store that sells a lot of new and vintage official merch from your favorite metal bands such as Cannibal, Morbid Angel, Pestilence, Death, Deicide, Pungent Stench, and many, many more. They sent me some t-shirts like this one that says Florida Death Metal and it has a crocodile skull. And me this really cool Bathory shirt, this Morbid Angel shirt, this really cool Dissection shirt, and also this Cannibal Corpse shirt. You know which one. Got shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, beanies, caps, patches, pins, and more. And the best of all, worldwide shipping. And if you use the promo code Jojo at checkout, you get a 10% discount on your first purchase. That's promo code Jojo, J-O-J-O, for 10% discount on your first purchase. Now back to the video. When getting someone started with death metal, it's important to go easy on them. Don't overwhelm them right away with endless blast beats and walls of dissonance. Go with a little simpler stuff, more melodic stuff. Best place to start could be Slaughter of the Soul by At the Gates, Doomsday Machine by Arch Enemy, Hard Work by Carcass, really good, super melodic stuff. A lot of catchy stuff, great production, but still really hard hitting. And even Clayman by In Flames. That last one might not be the most death metal-y choice out there, but hey, you cannot just get them started with Visceral Disgorge or Guttural Secrete now, can you? You gotta ease them into the style. Speaking of which, Cause of Death by Obituary is a nice and simple album to get into. And I mean, it's a classic. So, War Master by Bolt Thrower, it's another nice beginner's choice. Also, Left Hand Path and Clandestine by Entombed are really nice and simple albums, and actually might be the best produced albums of that wave of early 90s Swedish death metal, if you ask me. And if they like that, you can go ahead and show them Like an Ever-Flowing Stream and Massive Killing Capacity by Dismember. And I guess you could add here Severed Survival by Autopsy. But I mean, it's up to you. Now, I will be remiss if I didn't mention the one and only Death. There. Okay. A great place to start will be with their final album, The Sound of Perseverance. It's super well produced, it's quite melodic, it has a lot of proggy elements, but not something too complex that a casual listener couldn't enjoy. Then you can go back into their discography and listen to their first couple albums like Scream Bloody Gore and Leprosy. Now, if you already like thrash metal, there's a lot of old school bands you can get into. A good place to start will be with the album From Beyond by Massacre, Malleus Maleficarum, and Consuming Impulse by Pestilence. On the seventh day, God created... Master by Master. And of course, the classic of classics, Seven Churches by Possessed. Also, their latest album, Revelations of Oblivion, is pretty good too, and super well produced. And I guess you could even argue that Cannibal Corpse's first album, Eaten Back to Life, could be lumped into this group. It's got a lot of thrashy elements, and I think it will be a great segue from the classic thrashy sound to the more blasting stuff. If you like more proggy stuff, you probably like Unquestionable Presence by Atheist, Focus by Cynic, Pestilence again, but now with the album Sphere, and Testimony of the Ancients, which is actually my personal favorite Pestilence album. Of course, Nocturnus with The Key and Thresholds, and even Opeth's Blackwater Park. I know many of you might not associate Opeth with this group of bands, but I actually have a few friends that got into death metal thanks to Opeth. And also Death again with the album Human and Onward, especially symbolic and individual thought patterns. And I guess guess you could even put Terra Incognita by Gojira in this group. It does have that groove that Gojira is known for, but it's a lot more death metal influence, and I think this will be a great bridge for a prog fan to get into the more brutal death metal stuff. Now, we're getting into the heavy hitters. Your full-on introduction to blasting drums and pummeling guitar riffs. We cannot go ahead without mentioning Altars of Madness by Morbid Angel. The thrash and heavy metal elements in this album are really present, but there's also a lot of classic death metal elements that will get you used to this style of playing, and if you like this kind of stuff, you might be able to dig more brutal stuff. When talking about beginner death metal albums, The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse always comes out, since it's probably the catchiest one out of the Chris Barnes era. But in my opinion, Butcher at Birth is a great introduction. Not only do you get those classic barrages of blast beats and tremolo picking riffs that Cannibal Corpse is known for, but you also get those signature groovy sections that will become more and more prevalent with each album they released. There's also Malevolent creation with their first two albums, The Ten Commandments and Retribution, Onward to Golgotha by Incantation, and Dawn of Possession by Immolation, Imperial Doom by Monstrosity, and of course, Deicide's self-titled album. I think it's best to start from there and then go chronologically with their albums. Now, if you want to get into harder, more dense stuff, I could probably make a guide into getting into brutal death metal and technical death metal, and maybe then after dissonant death metal. Let me know in the comments below. So that is all for today, gang. I know I didn't include every single band that you could mention that will be good for a beginner, so comment them down below. Let people know which other bands are really good for a beginner. Thanks again to Full of Merch for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the video, please click that like button down below and comment down below with any thoughts or suggestions you may have, and it really helps me with the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and everything is going to fund the education of a single solitary small man by the name of Brinkleberry. That's canon. All my social media links and my Discord server link will be in the description down below as always, so check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.